I grew up in a small town where life moved at the pace of the seasons. It was a quiet, simple existence where we learned the value of patience and the beauty of having just enough. Our house had a simple blue door. Behind it, there was always enough. Not an excess of things, but a richness of life. My parents called it quiet money, a security that didn't need to shout. This is my story. We had food on the table, laughter in the halls, an abundance of love that filled every room. My childhood was rich in everything but one specific thing. But one thing we rarely spoke of was money, a language we didn't understand. It was the silent, invisible guest at our dinner table, a source of unspoken tension. In my young mind, money was luck, a winning lottery ticket. Some people were born with it, the rest of us were not. It was a story I told myself so often, it became my truth. It took years to unlearn that. I carried the belief that money was a force outside of my control, like the weather. You could complain about it, but you couldn't change it. When I finally left home, I packed my suitcase and my unspoken beliefs about wealth. I was leaving to find my fortune, but I didn't have a map. I thought hard work and being a good person would be enough, that maybe luck would find me if I just kept my head down and did the right thing. But money wasn't about luck. It was knowledge, habits, small, intentional actions, day after day. It was a skill, and like any skill, it could be learned. The secrets of the wealthy weren't locked in a vault. They were simple principles, hidden in plain sight, practiced by ordinary people who had decided to stop waiting. This is the story of how I stopped waiting for luck and learned to open the door myself, one small habit at a time. At 25, I moved to the big city for a job that felt like a new beginning. The energy was electric. The buildings scraped the sky. I felt a freedom I had never known, and a deep, overwhelming sense of being lost. Everyone seemed to be moving with a purpose I couldn't grasp. Some people carried a different energy. They didn't look flashy. They just looked calm, grounded, as if they were walking on solid earth while I was treading water. Their relationship with money seemed peaceful. Mine felt like desire versus debt, a constant struggle between what I wanted and what I owed. One rainy Tuesday, on a crowded train, anxiety knotted my stomach. My rent was due, my credit card was nearly maxed out, and I felt the familiar squeeze of panic. Then I saw her, Claire. Not born into wealth, steady voice, simple life, a small house with a garden. She was reading a book, completely serene amidst the chaos. We talked. She worked at a bank, nothing fancy. But every word felt like a truth I'd been waiting to hear. She didn't offer secrets. She offered perspective.
She said, her eyes twinkling. Money is not a race. It is a slow walk. Save small. Think long. Never stop learning.
The first lesson Claire shared sounded almost too simple, deceptively so.
Pay yourself first. Before rent, before bills, before coffee. The very first transaction you make on payday is a deposit into your own future.
Every paycheck, before a single bill or grocery, she moved a small portion into a separate savings account. At a different bank, she specified, to make it harder to touch. Not fun money, not vacation. She called it her quiet money, a promise to her future self. It was the foundation of her peace of mind. I had done the opposite: rent, utilities, cards, and if anything was left, I'd save. There was rarely anything left. I was paying everyone else in the world before I paid myself. The millionaire habit flips it. You spend what you don't save. Your lifestyle adjusts to what's left over, not the other way around. I opened a new savings account at a different bank and set a tiny automatic transfer. It felt insignificant, almost laughable. Just $20 from each paycheck. The first month was hard. I missed it. I felt the pinch, and the urge to reverse the transfer was immense. By month 2, easier. By month 3, I barely noticed. but the balance grew. It was a tiny snowball, but it was rolling. When my tire went flat, I didn't panic or swipe a card. I used my quiet money. It was a small emergency, but it felt like a monumental victory. For the first time, a financial surprise didn't break my peace. I had bought calm, $20 at a time. The second lesson was about what you buy. It was a complete shift in how I viewed my possessions. Many chase liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. A fancy car with high insurance, the latest phone that will be obsolete in a year, clothes that go out of style. They impress at first, then drop in value and demand upkeep. They are anchors, not wings. The wealthy buy assets, things that put money into your pocket. Every dollar is a worker. An asset can be a stock that pays a dividend, a book that teaches you a new skill, or even a quality tool that saves you time and money. I saw a graveyard of liabilities at home, clothes unworn, gadgets used once. Each one represented a choice where I had prioritized a fleeting feeling over lasting freedom. Claire drove simple, wore classic. Her joy came from freedom assets provided, not the status liabilities offered. She rented her spare room for steady income and sold fresh herbs to a local restaurant, small streams that flowed into a larger river of financial independence. I started asking, before every purchase, is this an asset or a liability? More freedom or less? The question itself was a powerful filter. I skipped the extra shoes and bought a book on investing, then a course that led to a promotion. The book cost $20. The promotion was worth thousands. That was the power of an asset. The final core lesson was about risk. This was the one that scared me the most. I was taught risk meant gambling, losing everything, so we avoided it at all costs. We kept our money safe in accounts where it slowly lost its power. Claire said the wealthy don't avoid risk. They understand and manage it. They study it. They respect it. Doing nothing is a risk too. Inflation erodes idle cash. She called it the silent tax on fear. She diversified. Safe, quiet money in savings for emergencies, and small, researched stock purchases for long-term growth. She never put all her eggs in one basket. I studied 1 hour every Sunday. I learned about index funds, diversification, and the magic of compound interest. The more I learned, the less scary it became. Knowledge replaced fear. Then I invested just $100. A small, brave step. It felt like jumping into cold water, but I did it. I watched it wiggle and learned not to panic. I learned to zoom out, to trust the long-term trend over the daily noise. Managing risk wasn't recklessness. It was preparation, limits, boundaries, and patience. It was about playing a game you could afford to lose in the short term, to win in the long term. Time, tracking, teamwork, the invisible habits. These were the threads that wove the other lessons together. Claire said, "What gets measured gets managed." She tracked every dollar, not to judge, but to learn, not to restrict, but to understand. At month's end, she played detective. Subscriptions, takeout. The numbers told a story of her habits and values. It was data, not a report card. Tracking changed me. I saw that my daily coffee habit cost more than my monthly investment. Awareness made me mindful without force. I didn't have to give it up, but I chose to cut back. She chose a job closer to home, traded some pay for time, to read, tend her garden, cook, simply be. She understood that time was the ultimate non-renewable resource. And a team, friends who taught raises, fixes, and frugal skills. Wealth wasn't a solo sport. It was a community of shared knowledge and support. Progress wasn't straight. It was messy. There were missteps. There was doubt. I chased a hot stock, broke my rules, invested more than I could stomach, and lost most of it. The market was a swift and brutal teacher. The sting taught me humility and due diligence better than any book. I learned the difference between investing and gambling the hard way. I slipped on gadgets too. A moment of weakness, a shiny new thing. Instead of shame, I chose self-compassion and returned to the plan. I returned the item. The wealthy aren't perfect. They acknowledge, learn, forgive, and move on. They don't let a mistake become a roadblock. They treat it as a lesson. I needed an anchor, a system to keep me on track when motivation faded. So I created a 15-minute Sunday ritual. I review the week without judgment, just curiosity. I set 3 tiny goals for the week ahead, and I write one thing I'm grateful for, to ground myself in abundance, not scarcity. Save a little, learn a little, plan one low-cost joy with a friend, small, achievable steps. Momentum builds on consistency, not intensity. This simple ritual became the cornerstone of my financial well-being. It was my weekly meeting with my future self. The frantic energy is gone, replaced by a quiet confidence. The constant hum of financial anxiety has faded into the background. Financial well-being isn't a destination. It's a way of walking. Learn, save, act with intention. It's the daily practice of choosing peace. The millionaire habits I stole were really about freedom, peace over panic, values over fear. They weren't about getting rich quick, but about building a rich life, slowly. Take 1 hour this week. Write what you spent. No judgment. Just look. Then start a quiet money jar. Put $1 in, 5, 10, whatever you can. The act itself holds the power. It's a physical representation of a promise you're making. You are planting a seed. Be kind to yourself. Start small. Save first. This is not about deprivation. It's about intention. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take yours today. Your future self will thank you. Remember, financial calm comes from small, consistent steps. So for this week, here are 3 ideas. 1. Automate a tiny savings transfer. 2. Swap one liability for an asset. 3. Write down your emergency fund goal. If this resonated, please share it. You never know who might need this today. Subscribe for more calm money stories and drop your first step in the comments below. I'm rooting for you. See you next Sunday.